Adam Sandler has a new sci-fi romantic drama currently streaming on Netflix called Spaceman. This film stars Adam Sandler, Isabella Rossellini, Paul Dano, Carey Mulligan, and even has an appearance by one of his daughters. Now, this film was released on Friday and it is still streaming number one. So I know a lot of people are watching, but is it worth a watch? Here's the thing about Adam Sandler. I love this new era where he is being more versatile with his movie selections. I have liked this dramatic turn in his career, Uncut Gems, Hustle, even Murder Mystery 2. This last one was funny. And the film he did with his daughters, I believe it was last year, You Are So Not Invited. I thought that was a cute movie. And now this. I gotta say, in this film, his performance is really good. I mean, he can dig deep. And I gotta say, I appreciate the alumni of SNL. Him in particular. I mean, the alumni out of SNL are so versatile. Most of them have done slapstick comedy, but I don't think any of them, including Eddie Murphy, I will say, have been able to capitalize off screwball and slapstick comedy the way Adam Sandler has. He is really a box office king, and I know a lot of his movies lately, over the last few years, Transylvania notwithstanding, they have been streaming. I understand that. But I don't think he has a successor that can capitalize off the box office with screwball comedy. I think there were many before him, but none after him, to be honest. I can't think of one. And that speaks tremendously to his career. So I can understand that he really does have an army of fans who will likely watch anything he's in, and they've followed him throughout his career. I didn't like a lot of the screwball comedy, I'll tell you. It's really not my thing, but I've seen all of his movies. I have followed his career, and I gotta say, this era is my favorite. In this film, he gives a powerful performance. A lot of it is in his body and facial expressions. I mean, he really does deliver. The movie doesn't necessarily work for me, and it's not the movie's fault. This is an adaptation of a book entitled Spaceman Bohemia. I have not read that book and wasn't familiar with the source material, as I can say. So the promise of the premise was different than what I was imagining as I was going on the journey with this character. He plays a Slavic cosmonaut who has been in space for the last 6 months and is growing lonely and is somewhat refusing to return to Earth to face the reality, which includes his pregnant wife, played by Carey Mulligan. Now, in the beginning of this film, one of his daughters, his daughter in real life, she plays a character in this film, and she asks if he is lonely. And so we go on this journey of his loneliness, even to the point where he is communicating with a spider, which isn't real. It is a figment of his imagination. And so with that setup, I was expecting a Shutter Island like cliffhanger or twist, I'll say. And I didn't get it. This is an arbitrary love story at the end of the day, with how he can get back to his life on Earth because he doesn't have to be lonely. Now, there were some problematic scenes. Isabella Rossellini is in this film, and she is telling his wife, Carey Mulligan, that she can't break up with him. She wants a divorce, and Isabella Rossellini is forbidding it because she thinks that will affect him adversely and have him refuse to come back down to Earth. And I found that problematic, but it's just that simple. The story is really just that simple. I was hoping, based on the setup, that he was dealing with a bout of schizophrenia and that none of this was happening, or even he was solipsistic in that all of this, everything was in his mind and nothing on the ground exists, and that he wasn't in space. But that wasn't the case here. It's a love story at the end of the day with sci-fi elements. And so I don't think the payoff was earned, in my opinion. Now, that's one thing, the story. The other thing that was very distracting was the score. Every frame of this film is scored. And I think with a story like this and the journey the audience is going on with someone who is extremely lonely and all he has is space, I think a lot of these scenes deserved silence, and it wasn't there. It was very distracting, the score. I think it overpowered a lot of the dramatic tension. At any rate, do I think this is worth a watch? For the performances alone, these are really good performances. I believe they all delivered. It's a very contained sci-fi romantic drama. If that's your jam, then you may very well like it. It was just an issue with the story and the score for me. But again, the performances were really good. At any rate, Spaceman is currently streaming on Netflix.